live again at the Dirty South podcast. I almost forgot the name of the podcast, Van. It has been so long since I've been on one of these. I appreciate you having me back. I'm finally settled here in the United Kingdom. Van, how you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm happy to have you back, and I'm also eager to get our second annual playoff wins draft underway. It was kind of fun last year. I hope the community enjoys it. Let us know if you do. We'll keep doing them.
I was sad that I missed last year's. It did seem like a lot of fun. You and Kelly had a blast doing it last year, and this year I'm gonna try to step in for the reigning champion Kelly, because he did such a great job last year that I hope that I can only be like as half as good as he was, because he was
And
just
he'll get the winner of this year next year. We'll do it that way.
yeah, we'll play it down into kind of a winner bracket in our own little playoff bracket. So this year we got 20 teams that are eligible for the playoffs. 12 of them have already made their way in, and then another eight are going to be playing in what we call play-in games to see who makes it into the playoffs. For those of you that have never seen a NBA or SIBA playoff bracket, so we got in the West and the East. It's definitely going to be a fight to get to the finals this year. I think this year we've got it's going to be a battle, isn't it, Van?
There is a lot of parity, a lot more than I'm used to seeing. We only had one 60-win team, the esteemed commissioners, Kansas City Coyotes, a whole bunch of teams in the 50s, including four of them tied at 52 and 30 on the year.
Yes. So a lot of teams. And we're going to start out west with that team that you just talked about that had 63 wins on the season. The Coyotes from Kansas City, they definitely ruled the league this year.
Absolutely did. Almost start to finish number one in the power rankings. It was a little bit of a slower start, but once they hit their stride, they really kept the hammer down all year. They are the prohibitive favorites, and I'll be surprised if either of us pick anyone other than them first in the draft.
They are the number one seed out west, followed closely behind by the Outlaws of Oklahoma City with 57 wins on the season. They also are pretty hot going into the playoffs.
They are, and 57 wins puts them second best in the league overall, better than anyone in the East. So either of those teams that comes out of the West would be the guaranteed the home seat advantage in the finals.
Now we did kind of just jump on into these, looking at each team, but do you think that the Western Conference was better than the Eastern Conference this year, or do you think it was more a little even once you get down to it?
I think it was easier to make the playoffs in the West and harder to emerge from the playoffs in the West. If you look at the win totals, I think the best teams were clustered in the West, but then there were some teams that would not have gotten in the East with their win totals towards the bottom of the playoff bracket. I suspect that means we're going to have a less than fully exciting first round of the Western Conference playoffs. And then insanity once you get down to four Western Conference teams, where I think the East, you can count on almost every series giving you something to watch.
And I think
Seed in the conference finals,
it
or
seems
two
like it.
last year.
Last year was crazy. As we continue on with the Western Conference, though, a team that's not used to being this far down in the rankings, the Los Angeles Mamba at number three. Why do you
Yeah,
think they were only 52 wins on the season?
well, they were killed by injuries. I would love to know, and this is an under the hood thing that they'll never tell us, but I'm curious what the tiebreakers were with Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Houston all tying with 52 wins, but Los Angeles getting the third seed. My gut tells me Los Angeles is healthy for the first time this year, and they're going to be scary, but I'm very interested to see where they go in this because they were definitely, yeah, at best, the third best team in the West. So yeah, I'd be surprised if they were picked before OKC. But you're really interested to see how that goes. I've got a lot of faith in Dron's coaching, and give him a healthy team. I think they might surprise.
Yeah, definitely. He always knows what strings to pull at what time every single year, and it's always tough to play the Mamba at this time of the year because they show up at the playoffs. They do. In the fourth seed, like you said, there are three teams that had 52 wins. We had LA, we got Phoenix, and we got Houston, and two of them will be playing in the first round with Phoenix and Houston going head to head. That is
Yeah.
going to be a matchup.
That is going to be the crown watching joy of the first round, to be sure. Those are two excellent teams, two very well coached teams. I would give the nod to Phoenix because of Houston losing their center, but they lost their center in the first half of the season. They've certainly had time to make adjustments and continue to play well without him.
Yeah, yeah, that's a tough loss always when you lose a player for a long time, especially one like it was Winfield, right?
Yeah.
That they lost. He's a huge. He was I drafted him. He's a huge man, and he was just coming of age. 7'3", 246, and I mean he was just starting to hit his stride with that injury, and I hate to see that happening to really good young players in the league because just kind of
Yeah, you just got
derails
to
them.
hope it's not a long term setback, just a blip, and he'll be back strong, ready to go next year.
Yeah, and we all hope that he will be because I know I've had a couple players that have hit those long term things. They just always seem to come back just a tad bit changed and not quite as good as they were before. In the so that's the four and the five, and the sixth seed is Portland as they just snuck by San Diego with the 50-32 record and kind of get that sixth seed in there. They're going to have a tough first round draw with LA, but they still are a promising team.
They are. They're one of the teams that really surprised me this year. I'm glad to see them in there, and that is going to be a tough series. The magazine predicted them to finish ninth in the West, and they came in the sixth seed. So kudos to the coaching staff there, putting together a much better season than the prognosticators thought they'd have.
And what definitely helped them is a 11-2 end of the season, including in that. Are you ready for this? Including in that last 11 games, not one, or last 13 games, not one, but two wins against the number one overall seed, Kansas City Coyotes. They had two wins against Kansas City, one in Kansas City. And they also did lose the last game of the year to Kansas City, but they did beat them twice in that last 13 games. So could Portland do that? I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard
Hard
to
to say.
say.
Playoff
Yeah,
basketball's exciting.
it is going to be exciting, and like I say, with the 7 game series, teams can kind of figure out what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and change, make adjustments as it's going on. Now, the play-in teams are going to be interesting this year, especially one, I think. That's this team that came in seventh because they just missed getting that sixth seed with 49 wins. That San Diego Captains. They are looking good.
They are looking very good. They are 8 wins better than the next best team in the playoff tournament on either side, and they have easily the best player in the play-in tournament on either side. So it's one game, as we were discussing earlier. Anything can happen in one game, but the one thing that really surprised me is San Diego getting through to face Oklahoma City in the first round with a first game playoff win for them.
Yep, and what does make it easier for San Diego is they do, even if they lose that game against and the team we're going to talk about next, New Orleans, they still have a chance to win the second game that they'll have at home, both these at home against kind of the 9-10 winner, which, yeah, let's just say those aren't the best teams in the playoffs in that 9-10 game.
It is
In
not.
that,
They are not, and New Orleans has also got some injury issues, so
yeah,
that that
so yeah,
that argues in favor of them as well.
yeah, the eighth seed is the New Orleans Bears. They are 41-41 coming into the season, and as you said, a couple key injuries that's really might hold them out of these playoffs.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, my guess would be that we see San Diego sail through that first game, but we'll have to watch.
Yep, like I said, time will tell. And then in the other play-in game, it's the team named after you, Vancouver,
Yeah,
getting that nine.
Vancouver.
Yeah, that San
Vancouver
Francisco
comes in
team
as the hottest team in SIBA over the last 10, tied with Phoenix with a 6 game win streak coming in. They jettisoned me as their interim GM halfway through the season when their permanent GM came on and took off after that and have been firing the afterburners ever since. So I'm excited to see how they do in the playoffs.
Yep, yep. We'll see how far they go. They do have a good chance of making it in there, as they will be hosting San Francisco in that first one, who snuck into the playoffs with a 36-46 record for that playoff play-in game. And let's just say they're not winning. They're only 2-8 in their last 10. I
And
know
they've got
that they're still got to play the
injury
game.
challenges of their own. So
Yeah, they got to play the game, see what happens. But Vancouver is looking like they have a chance, especially with like you said, the New Orleans injuries and the San Francisco injuries. They could win those two games and make it into the 8 seed to play those Coyotes in the first round, possibly.
yep,
That
it's
is
exciting.
definitely
I don't want to look ahead, but a Vancouver Bears game in the finale of the play-in tournament would be a pretty fun game to watch.
that would be fun. So hopefully we'll get to see one of those, and maybe it'll be recorded for our viewing pleasure on the National Game of the Week. We will see how that goes.
We'll see how that
Um,
goes.
Yeah, just missing the playoffs. Denver and Dallas almost making it. And your Calgary Charge, just a hair short this year. But we'll see. We'll talk about them coming up soon as we get into the looking at the draft and the stuff like that. You got a lot of exciting things ahead in Calgary.
Yeah, I was predicting 38 wins on the season, which would have sneaked me in front of San Francisco, but I fell 5 short. We'll get them next year.
We're gonna get them next year, of course. And of course, that brings us to the East. Van, what teams do we have in the East?
Well, seemingly every year we have New York Metro sitting atop the conference. This year they were 56-26. And I'm going to structure mine a little differently. I'm going to try to start looking at playoff matchups off the bat. So
Mhm.
as the first seed, they will play the winner of the play-in finale. After Milwaukee and Columbus, the loser of that will play the winner of Chicago and Philadelphia, and the winner of that second game will get in to face the Metros. They're 56-26, like I said, 6-4 over their last 10. They're going to be a formidable opponent. Second seed in the East, just 4 games back, was your Atlanta Attack. Also
Mhm.
coming in very hot, 8-2 over the last 10. And they will face the winner of the 7-8 game. Again, that's Milwaukee Columbus. Um, Milwaukee is always a fierce playoff team, and I know you've had your tussles with them in the past. But with their injury woes, I would expect you're probably going to look at Columbus in that first round matchup. Any thoughts about what you're looking
I
at there?
I sure hope so. I think I've faced Milwaukee just about every year, and I don't think I've beaten them once in the playoffs. They always last year I think they swept me, didn't they? Or I may have gotten a gentleman's sweep in that one.
I think it was 4-1, but my memory is
Yeah,
hazy too.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
I've blocked it out of my memory because I don't want to think about it anymore. I do have a little bit of a different look this year, but like I said, Milwaukee with the way they slow it down and and I don't have the fastest team in the world, but they just seem to always know what to do on defense against me and just make my guys not score somehow.
yeah.
We end up having 82 to 73 games, and it's
Yeah,
just
I know. We're back in the 90s NBA playoff games there in
oh,
the
yeah, gross.
82-76 game.
Gross. So
Uh,
even though Milwaukee's got the injuries, I know you should sometimes you got to look at what you asked for and it may end up getting you, but I'm rooting for Columbus in that playing game for sure.
I I think it'll be exciting. I love watching Columbus and Philadelphia because they have very different team building strategies than me, and they make it work to a degree I could never do with the teams they put together. I think the Chicago Philadelphia game has a chance to be quite a good game.
Oh,
Unfortunately, Philadelphia has their point guard out with an injury. It's going to really cost them in that. So I
and
think the most likely situation is Chicago goes on to face New York in the first round. But once
I,
again, we'll
I
have to
could
see how that plays out.
I could definitely see that. And we got to give it up for Chicago making the playoffs, making the play-ins, and hopefully the playoffs for the first time. And I know that it's been an uphill battle to try to get that team playoff bound, and we got to say a big congratulations in there for Chicago. I really am looking forward to seeing Finn in the playoffs to see if he can do it. Finn Meteran, who's been just one of the top notch players in the league, and he has not yet had a playoff game. He'll have his first this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do in the playoffs.
Playoff tulip is going to be a beautiful thing.
I hope so. Hope so.
All right, so that brings us to the 3 seed, Jacksonville, at 51-31 this year, who will face Memphis in the first round. What do you think about that matchup, Jeremy? Any thoughts?
I mean, Jacksonville has been a tough egg all year. They have really played very, very, very well. They are just, I mean, they've got a very, very good team with that kind of the as I've tried to read my my chicken scratch. Like I said, I did all this on one side of paper, and I should have done two to try to spread things out so I can actually read my writing. But Jacksonville has definitely been doing well. They've kind of hit a couple speed bumps lately, but they are 7-3 going into the playoffs. They are looking like a world beater, and they've had done very well against Memphis this year. So I think that they're going to come out of this one on top. Even though, like I say, we know, I just think Memphis, they are good, but they're still in that level that's kind of, I hate to say it, in kind of a play-in level. They made it, I know they made the 6th seed, but they're kind of at the same level as the play-in teams, and I think Jacksonville's a step above them this year.
I think so too, but I'm really excited to see a playoff series where both teams walk in healthy. And we just settle it on the floor and not in the trainer's room.
Yeah, and it's also going to be another inside the paint battle as both of the teams are post focus. So I do think that it's going to be kind of one of those. It could be a slow down sort of game where they kind of try to get it inside, try to get them in there. In fact, when I was looking at these teams, both in the East and the West, a lot of teams are looking to take it inside, which kind of surprised me. There's not as much reliance on the three ball in the whole league as a whole. I mean, I know we're talking about two specific teams right now, but as a whole, it looks like a lot of teams are looking to go inside, and these are two teams really do love the paint and love trying to pound it in there and trying to get those easy baskets underneath in the paint. So we could see some lower scoring games in this one, but you never know how that goes, especially in the playoffs.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the final East playoff matchup, which is going to be Detroit and New Jersey. Should be exciting. Definitely conflicting styles, and styles make fights, as we both know.
Yeah.
Detroit goes in a little hotter. New Jersey's actually the coldest team in the league going in with a 3-game losing skid. Any
Mhm.
thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, Detroit. I looked at when I looked at them, I just said this is probably the most balanced team out there. I mean, they just across the board, all five of their starters are just really solid players. They have no real superstar on this team, which allows them to be able to kind of have everyone do their own thing. And I think that could be dangerous going forward because it's tough in the playoffs. You try to shut down the best player on the team. I mean, on Detroit, they got so many, you can't shut them all down. So it's really going to be tough for New Jersey and whoever they face in the second round and third round to kind of do that. On the flip side, again, another post-focused team in New Jersey, still playing on. Like I said, I know they lost three in a row, but they are a very quality team, kind of in the middle of that Eastern Conference. And this again is going to be like just almost like the Phoenix Houston one. I mean, every 4 or 5 is always two evenly matched teams, and I think we got that here. Even though Detroit did have the 2-1 advantage on the year head to head, I'd probably give a slight edge to Detroit, but New Jersey is a tough team.
Yeah, I normally favor any team coached by Penny because she's great at disrupting what you want to do. But like you
Yep.
said, Detroit is so balanced that it's not as simple as my Jacksonville one-man teams back in the day, where she just had to
Mhm.
shut somebody down. She's got to shut everybody down, and she may do it. She's that good of a coach, but it'll be a fun series to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to say, but I like whenever you got a balanced team like that, it's tough. It's tough because they can just every day someone else can be the main person going for it, and I'm really looking forward to this series to see how it goes. And like I said, the Eastern Conference, It's going to be a good one. Like I say, maybe a little more top heavy than the West. Like I say, but those teams that are towards the bottom, like I say, Columbus is going to be a tough one. Chicago can be tough in that first and second rounds. Memphis can show up and just disrupt everything. And like I said, Jersey and Detroit, quality teams. The East is always topsy turvy and upside down and all around. You
Yeah,
never
you
know.
could tell me you could tell me 6 of those teams are in the Western Conference final or Eastern Conference Finals, excuse me,
Yep,
and I
yep,
would believe it.
yep. And
Okay, well,
with all that said, one thing real quick, New York does have a couple injuries that will keep some players out for part of that first round. Who knows? We could see another number one seed have trouble in that first round series just because of those injuries. So even the top seeds could have some issues.
absolutely. And
Mhm.
that is the playoff picture in a nutshell. So now we're going to play a little game where Jeremy and I take turns doing a snake draft of the 20 teams that are in the leagues. We'll each end up with 10 teams, and we'll get credit for all the wins the teams on our side get. And then at the end of the playoffs, we'll see who managed to get more than the other. This is the second year we did it. Kelly was, I think, 3 wins better than me last year. There was a
Oof.
chance if the finals had gone to 7, I could pull it out, but it was not a 7-game finals, and I did not. Uh, so, Jeremy has kindly agreed to let me pick first. So I am going to pick the Kansas City
Oh,
Kings, the Kansas City
oh,
Coyotes.
really?
Yeah, it's
Really?
shocking. It's shocking.
Shocker, shocker. I did not see that coming.
And we're
Did not
doing
see
this
that.
as a snake draft, so Jeremy will pick second and third to make up for the advantage I got with picking first.
So I get two picks, and I'm going to kind of swerve on my second on these picks. I know you're kind of thinking that maybe I would take the Metros in this one, but I think I am going because of those injuries and I just got a feeling this year it's going to go topsy turvy, and I am going to pick the number three seed in the West, the Los Angeles Mamba, as my
Oh,
first pick.
I
Yeah,
love it.
I know. They always show up in playoff time. The team is healthy for the first time this season. Like everybody's going to play, and they are stacked. I mean, it's just such a great team. I really think that they are going to have a good time in these playoffs. I just think they're going to feast and could go all the way. They could be the sneaky three seed from the West that goes all the way. I know Kelly doesn't like to hear that because his Coyotes he wants them to go all the way, but with you taking this Kansas City, I gotta go with LA on that second one. Maybe that's going to be if that's the Western Conference Finals. Whew, we better buckle up because it is going to be spicy. I'll tell you that much. And the second pick,
Absolutely.
because I can't let you take them. I got to take my own guys. I got to go with them. I'm going to take Atlanta as my number two pick. Um, I think this is our year. I think we are heading to the finals this year, and I think we finally cracked that nut. I finally got a big three in there, and I have got high hopes for my team in the playoffs this year. And of course, this means that I'll probably get swept in the first round and end up with 0 points for this second round pick. But I've got I think like I said, we started the season 8-14, ended the season 44-16 in the last 50 games or 60 games, and I think that's the only team that has a higher winning percentage than that is the Coyotes. So I think the attack are going to attack these playoffs and take it down this year. So I am taking them as with my number two pick.
I have read that with how hot you are going into the playoffs seldom affects playoff success unless that hot streak coincides with a structural change, and yours
Mhm.
does with a change to your
Yeah,
starting lineup. So I
I did.
think that gives more credence to the fact that your team is the one that did not go 8-14, but the one that was massive after that.
I've got my fingers crossed, and I hope you're right. I hope you're right, Van.
Okay, well, that gives me the fourth and fifth picks overall. And I built a board before this because that's kind of what I do. And I'm going to try to stick to my board and not get sentimental on it. So I'm going to pick OKC and New York Metros with my next two picks.
Not surprising at all, as I left those for you out there to get. So you have both the number one seeds in the East and the West, and it's going to make me
And the
maybe
top three
have
win totals over the regular season.
and the top three win totals of the regular season. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see what that means for
But
the
I can't
playoffs.
fault your logic on your picks you did make either. That makes sense to me.
Yep, yep. And now it kind of makes it interesting for me. So how do I go now that you have the one and two in the West and the one in the East, and I have got the this is where it gets tough. This is where the rubber hits the road because I got the two in the East. So now you got to start thinking about who your team's going to play in the first round, who are they going to play in the second round? Do
Exactly.
you want to pick teams that are going to face against your teams in the second round? Because then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. So I may have to go all the way down to a number four seed and take
Oh,
yeah, and take Detroit in the is one of these two picks
all
for
right.
me, which is kind of interesting. Like I said, I'm not high on the New York Metros. No offense to the Metros, but I'm not high on them. So if Detroit can take care of New Jersey, then that we may be seeing something where they can take care of whoever makes it to the second round in the East. So I do think that that's good. And then in the West, I'm going to have to take a West team here, and it is going to be. I got the Mamba as the three seed, so I definitely don't want to take that. I
Yeah, it kind
think
of
I'm going to
comes
have to
down to
go.
who you think's going to win that 4-5 matchup, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does. And I know one team that always shows up in the playoffs, and so I think I'm going to have to go with them. That's going to be the Scorpions from Phoenix. They
Yeah, yeah.
always show up in the playoffs, so I think that they are going to show up again. And like you said, they're coming in with a six-game winning streak into the playoffs, and I think they may be the team to kind of take that next level, be a tough second rounder for those Coyotes.
Well, I'm going to have to take the other half of that pick and hope that Houston pulls off the upset there.
Smart,
And
smart.
then that leaves me with the exciting opportunity to pick the third seed in the East, Jacksonville, here.
Your former team.
Yeah, who are doing much better since they got rid of me. There's a
So
theme
yeah,
here.
Jacksonville
Fire
is
them
gonna.
and you get better.
I don't know about that, but the reason I didn't pick Jacksonville again last time is they are going to go up against if everything holds serve, they would go up against the Attack in the
Hmm.
second round, and I'd kind of be shooting myself in the foot by having both of the teams that are going to be facing each other in that round. But now I think it doesn't really matter because you're going to be picking people that could possibly be picking against you. You just don't want to pick people that are playing against your guys in the second round, which does make this a little bit interesting because, again, Portland, who's the highest seed left in the West, will be facing LA in the first round, who is someone I have picked. And in the East, you got New Jersey, who will be facing Detroit, who is, again, a team that I picked. So that means that I may have to go with those Memphis Vandals in this pick here, um, as they will be going up against Jacksonville. And hopefully I can get lightning in a bottle, and that will happen. That will work for me. And the other team I'm going to go with is going to be kind of off the board. It's going to be those San Diego Captains, as I
Oh,
think
wow. I love it.
I know they're coming. I think they're coming out of the play-ins, and I think they're going to cause some damage. I really do. I think they're going to be a little better than people think coming out of these playoffs.
Okay. Well, I would like to be equally bold, but I'm going to be boring and pick Portland and New Jersey for my next two teams.
So
And
that
that
leaves
we are
us
solidly
play,
in play-in territory now.
solidly in play-in, which means I'm going to get more play-in teams than you when it's all said and done, which means I'm probably shooting myself in the foot. I am going to make one of these picks as a kind of a sentimental pick, as I really want this team to do well in the playoffs, and that's going to be Chicago. I want them to do well and to be the best that they can be. So I will pick them. And the other one I'm going to pick is going to be Vancouver, as I think
Ah,
that they are going to get a win at least in these playoffs. maybe two, and maybe I can get both of those out of the West that will come out of those plans.
That's great. Yeah, I love the pick. Once again, going with the theme of picking teams that fired me. Always a growth stock. I am going to pick Columbus because he's a great coach, and I think the bracket broke very well for them this year.
Yep, don't
And then
disagree.
it gets really, really challenging. I don't know how your board looks at this point in time,
I don't know if I
but
have a board anymore.
my list at this point is teams that are facing serious injury problems in there. So I think my other team, I'll go with what I believe to be the deepest of the remaining teams, and that's New Orleans.
Okay, makes sense there, and that leaves me with the last two, right?
You get two, and then I get the last one.
Okay, so who am I missing? Well, let me look at my board to see who I'm missing. I thought I had scratched off everybody. So
I
we've
show
got
San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee remaining.
okay, San Francisco, Philadelphia. Oh, yeah, you picked Columbus. San Francisco, Philadelphia. I guess I got to pick Milwaukee.
All right.
It's tough to not pick them, even though I do have Chicago. Um, so I will pick Milwaukee in that one. And of the final teams, I'll go with the team that's got well, I got Chicago. So let me go with San Francisco. Why
Okay.
not? San
I actually had
Francisco.
Milwaukee last on my board, despite all my
Yeah.
respect for coaching there. I just feel
Mhm.
like those injuries are too much to overcome.
Yeah. I think it was
So
more
that
of
leaves
the
me with
other teams that I
Philly,
had that I
who I
hadn't.
always believe in. If
Well,
anybody
let's
can win
go.
one game without a point guard, it's them.
Yep, definitely. Whew. Yeah, that
All
that
right.
is. I'm telling you, that gets tricky towards the end. This is my first
It
time
does.
doing this, and I may have put myself in a corner with my first couple picks. It kind of put myself in trouble there, and I think I may have handed you a victory, Van, when all is said and done. I don't
Well, I
know.
will
I don't
put
know.
I will put this together and put a screenshot in SIBA chat, and then I will put updated standings after each round is complete.
So we'll see how quickly it is till I'm mathematically eliminated from this competition. I think it will be soon. Well, Van, I know it's been a while since we've done this, and that's been partially my fault. Having the move out here to the United Kingdom has taken a lot of my time, uh, but it is good to be back. We're going to be doing this on a more regular basis now. Actually the time difference is going to make things easier for us to be able to do this because I will be able to do it later on. Van will be able to do it earlier on. Works for both of our schedules, which means you will be hearing a lot more from us. And of course, Kelly, too, will be in the mix, us three. And whoever else wants to take a shot at being on here, we're open for anybody that wants to do a podcast with us. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. Van, I know you enjoy doing this. Highlight of your time here. Um, and so we will be doing one. Including the next one is draft related. Is that right? Postseason.
No, I wanted to tease this now. I am working
Oh,
through an off-season outlook for all 32 SIBA teams. I think we'll do 4 8-team pods, me and Jeremy, or me and Kelly, or all three of us, or maybe Jedi will drop in for one. Soph is
sure.
always welcome to unmute himself and tell me how wrong I am. I threw the template I'm using up in the media room yesterday, just to give you an idea of how the team was, how they were expected to go, how they did the previous year, uh, what I think their core is, who they still have under contract, what decisions they have to make this offseason, and what tools they have to make those decisions with.
Yeah, I looked at the first thing, and guys, you won't believe how in depth Van gets in this. It baffles my mind every time I look at this. Like I said, I've looked in this league a lot. Van has done it 10 times more and then 10 times more than that. Is it just unbelievable detail that he has put into these recaps. So these off-season previews are going to be insane. So you do not want to miss those coming up in the next couple episodes of the Dirty South SIBA podcast. Van, thank you much for joining me.
Thank you.
It, it has been a pleasure, and we will see you on the flip side. right after these playoffs are done, we'll do a quick recap and then we'll get into those postseason